They made me sign before I could read it. I worked at Meridian Tech for 11 years. 11 years of my life poured into spreadsheets and quarterly reports. When they called me into HR that Tuesday morning, I knew. You always know. Margaret from Human Resources had that face. The one they teach you in corporate empathy seminars. She slid the severance package across the table. Heavy paper. Expensive weight. The kind that makes you think they care. "We need your signature today," she said. "The offer expires at 5 p.m. I tried to read it. I really did. But the words kept swimming. My hands were shaking so badly the pages rustled. I'd been awake for 36 hours, worrying about this exact moment. Margaret kept glancing at her watch. She had 3 more terminations scheduled that afternoon. I signed, page after page. Initials in boxes I didn't read. My name at the bottom of documents I didn't understand. That night, I finally read my copy. Really read it. Clause 7.3. Employee agrees to forfeit all claim to intellectual property developed during tenure, including personal project directory contents. My stomach dropped. PPD. Every employee had one. A folder on the company server where we stored our side projects. Ideas. Inventions. Things we worked on during lunch breaks. I'd been developing a data compression algorithm for 3 years. My retirement plan. My escape hatch. I logged into the company portal at midnight. My credentials still worked. For now, the PPD folder was empty. 10 gigabytes of code. Gone. But there was a new file, created at 5:47 p.m., the day I signed. It was a video, 12 seconds long. Me, in the server room, last Christmas, downloading my own files to a personal drive. The camera angle was perfect. My face clearly visible. The USB drive glowing in my hand. The email came at 6 a.m. from legal. Pursuant to Clause 7.3 and evidence of intellectual property theft, Meridian Tech reserves the right to pursue criminal charges. We are willing to negotiate alternative resolution. Alternative resolution. I called the number. They wanted me to come back. Not as an employee. As a contractor. No benefits. Half the pay. For 2 years. If I refused, they'd prosecute. The video was time-stamped. Irrefutable. I'm typing this for my old cubicle. 4th month of my contract. Margaret walks by sometimes. She never makes eye contact. Last week, I saw them call in Daniel from accounting. He looked confident walking to HR. Walked out pale. I watched him sign his severance package. He didn't read it either. They're always watching the server room. They've always been watching. She asked questions no one should know. They fired me on a Wednesday. Budget cuts. Last hired, first fired. I understood. What I didn't understand was the exit interview. Most companies don't bother. You clean out your desk. Security walks you out. That's it. But Tamara from HR insisted. She scheduled it for 4 p.m. after everyone else had left. Her office was in the basement. I'd never been down there. The fluorescent lights hummed at a frequency that made my teeth ache. Tamara smiled. She had a notebook, not a laptop. An actual leather-bound notebook with a red ribbon bookmark. Just a few questions, she said. She asked about my job performance, my relationship with coworkers, normal stuff. Then she paused, flipped to a new page. Tell me about the accident. My throat closed. What accident? The one in high school. Your junior year. I hadn't thought about that in 15 years. A car accident. My fault. My best friend broke 3 ribs. How do you know about that? My voice came out wrong. Too high. Tamara smiled wider. It's in your file. That was before I even applied here. Before I finished school. She tapped her pen against the notebook 3 times. Precise. Tell me about your father. The room felt smaller. The walls weren't quite parallel anymore. He died when I was 8. Tell me how. I stood up. The chair scraped against concrete. This isn't an exit interview. Tamara didn't move. Her smile never wavered. Tell me about the woman you saw last Thursday. The one in the parking garage. The one you didn't help. I had seen someone. A woman. Struggling with grocery bags. I'd been late for a meeting. I'd walked past her. Who are you? I whispered. She closed the notebook. The sound echoed. You're free to go, Marcus, but you'll need to come back. Why would I come back? She stood. Walked to a filing cabinet in the corner. Pulled out a folder with my name on it. It was thick. Too thick. She opened it. The first page was a photo. Me, age 7, at my father's funeral. The second page was a police report. The accident. My friend's testimony. The part where I'd been drinking. The third page was from last Thursday. Security footage. The woman in the parking garage falling. Her groceries scattering. Me walking away. More pages. More moments. More things I'd tried to forget. Everyone has a file, Tamara said softly. Everyone who works here eventually needs to come back for a second interview. I ran up the stairs, through the empty office, out the front doors. That was 6 months ago. I've changed jobs 3 times. Different companies, different industries. But I keep getting emails, reminders. Your exit interview is incomplete. Please schedule your follow-up. Last night, I saw Tamara at a coffee shop, sitting with someone from my new office. They were looking at a notebook, a red ribbon marking the page. They changed what success meant every week. The PIP arrived on Monday. Performance Improvement Plan. Corporate speak for, you're fired, but we need documentation. I'd seen it happen to others. 30 days. To meet impossible metrics. Then, termination with cause. No severance. My manager, Todd, couldn't look at me. It's standard. Just hit these numbers. You'll be fine. The metrics were clear. Increase client retention by 15%. Close 3 major deals. Reduce response time by 40%. In 30 days. During our slowest quarter, I worked 80-hour weeks. I stopped sleeping. Coffee and energy drinks became my primary food groups. By week 2, I'd closed 1 major deal. Retention was up 8%. I was exhausted but hopeful. That's when Todd called me in again. He had a new PIP document. We're adjusting the metrics, he said. His hands were shaking. Updated targets. Retention now needed to be 25%. 4 major deals. Response time reduced by 60%. But I'm already halfway there with the original numbers. These are the new targets. That's the requirement. I kept working. Barely human anymore. My apartment became a place I sometimes saw during darkness. Week 3. I'd hit 2 of the new metrics. Close on the 3rd. Todd called me in. Another document. The targets had changed again. Higher. Impossible. Why? I couldn't even sound angry anymore. Just tired. Todd leaned forward. Whispered. Stop trying. Just stop. What? No one's ever completed a PIP here. The targets change every week. It's designed to fail. Then why? Because if you quit, they don't pay unemployment. If you stay and fail, they have cause. Either way, they win. He looked at the door, lowered his voice further. I was on a PIP once, 3 years ago. Different department. But you're still here. His smile was broken. I stopped trying. Let the 30 days expire. They fired me with cause. Then, they called me back. Offered me a manager position. Less pay than before, but he trailed off. But what? Everyone who survives a PIP becomes management. Everyone who manages was once on a PIP. It's how they find people who'll do anything to stay. I looked at my metrics. Impossible numbers. Moving targets. What happens if I hit them? If I actually succeed? Todd's face went white. No one ever has. But there's a rumor. A guy in sales. 5 years ago. He hit every target, even when they changed. What happened to him? They promoted him. Vice president. He lasted 2 months. Todd stood. Ended the meeting. I did something stupid. I kept trying. Out of spite or insanity. I'm not sure. Week 4. Day 29. I hit every metric. Even the impossible ones. A perfect storm of luck and desperation. I documented everything. Screenshots, emails, proof. Todd called me in. He looked scared. You weren't supposed to succeed, he said. But I did. I have to escalate this to the VP. She'll want to meet you. I met with her the next day. Corner office, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking nothing. She congratulated me. Offered me Todd's job. 20% less salary than I'd been making. What happens to Todd? I asked. His PIP starts Monday. I'm sitting in Todd's old office now, looking at my first PIP to assign. Some kid from marketing, bright, eager, thinks hard work matters. The targets I'm writing are impossible. But that's not the point. It never was. Would you sign the severance without reading? Or risk everything to understand first? My old boss answers calls from companies that don't exist. I left Quantum Dyne 6 months ago. Mutual agreement. No drama. Or so I thought. Job hunting was brutal. I had the skills. Good resume. Interviews went well. Then, silence. After the 8th rejection, I called one of the hiring managers. Off the record, your references, she said quietly. We couldn't move forward. What did they say? She paused. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but your previous employer, the things they said. She hung up. I called Quantum Dyne, asked for HR, asked what they were saying about me. Standard verification only, the HR rep said. Dates of employment, job title, eligible for rehire, legal safe responses. Nothing that could be sued over, but companies kept rejecting me, always after reference checks. I did something possibly illegal. I had my friend Marcus call Quantum Dyne, pretend to be a hiring manager, record the conversation. He called the main number, asked for employment verification. They transferred him 3 times to numbers that weren't listed on the company website. Finally, someone answered. Verification services. Marcus gave them my name, my employee ID number. The voice on the other end changed, became my old supervisor, Dale. What Dale said on that recording still makes me sick. Lies. Careful lies. Nothing explicitly illegal, but implications, suggestions. Phrases like, had some challenges with attendance, and interpersonal dynamics were complicated, and we tried to work with him. All technically not defamatory, all absolutely poisonous. I confronted Dale via email, formal, documented. He replied within an hour. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never spoken to anyone about you. Per company policy, all reference checks go through HR. I sent him the recording. He didn't respond. But 2 days later, I got a call. Private number. It was Dale. He sounded wrong. Hollow. You need to stop, he said. Stop what? Stop trying to work? Stop existing? Just stop asking questions. Delete the recording. Why are you doing this? Silence. Long enough that I thought he'd hung up. Then, I'm not doing anything. I've never made those calls. I have you on tape. That's not me. His voice cracked. I mean, it is me. My voice. But I never made those calls. I don't remember making them. What are you talking about? The company has recordings. Of all of us. Years of meetings, presentations, one-on-ones. They can synthesize our voices, make us say anything. My apartment suddenly felt cold. Why would they? Control, Dale whispered. If you can't leave, you can't bargain. If every former employee gets poisoned references, current employees never risk leaving. We're trapped. That's insane. Check your email. From 3 years ago, December 14th. I put him on speaker. Opened my old work email. Found the date. There was a consent form, buried in a company-wide policy update. Voice data may be collected for quality assurance and training purposes. I'd clicked accept all without reading. They have all of us, Dale said. Everyone who ever worked there. They use our voices. Destroy anyone who leaves. I found out 2 years ago. Tried to warn people. What happened? Listen to your references, Marcus. Call Quantum Dyne. Ask for verification. About Dale Corrigan. He hung up. I made the call. Same transfer pattern. Same dead air delays. Finally, verification services. I asked about Dale Corrigan. The voice that answered was Dale, but different. Defeated. It said things. Terrible things. Career-ending things. Dale still works at Quantum Dyne. I see his email signature on company-wide announcements. I wonder if he knows when they're using his voice. I wonder if I should stop applying to jobs. They said I couldn't work anywhere. The non-compete seemed standard. 1 year, same industry, within 50 miles. Restrictive, but normal. I signed it 6 years ago when I started at Helios Consulting. I never thought I'd leave until they started the layoffs. No severance, no warning. Just a Tuesday email. Effective immediately. I wasn't worried. My skills were in demand. I had interviews lined up by Friday. The first offer came from a competitor. Great salary, benefits, start date in 2 weeks. Then Helios Legal called. You violated your non-compete agreement, the lawyer said. Her voice was mechanical. Practiced. I haven't started yet. I haven't even accepted. Accepting the interview violated the agreement. Section 12.4. You may not engage in preliminary employment discussions with competing entities. I pulled up my contract. She was right. Buried in dense legal language. But I need to work. I have rent, loans. That's not our concern. We're filing for an injunction. You'll receive the paperwork. She hung up. The injunction arrived. It was worse than I thought. The judge had granted a temporary order. I couldn't take any job in my field, anywhere, until the case was resolved. The case could take years. I burned through savings, sold my car, moved in with my sister. I applied to retail jobs, fast food, anything. Helios Legal called again. You've applied to work at Target Mart, the lawyer said. That's not consulting. That's not competing. Section 12(7). You may not accept employment that utilizes skills or knowledge gained during tenure with Helios. Your management experience was developed here. That's insane. That's every job. That's the agreement you signed. I hung up. Applied to more places. Under fake names. Distant cities. They always found out. I don't know how. 6 months in, I was desperate. Applied to a warehouse job. Night shift. Loading trucks. Helios Legal didn't call. I thought maybe I'd finally found something beneath their notice. First night, my supervisor pulled me aside. "You used to work at Helios?" he asked. My stomach dropped. Got a weird call today. From their legal department. They wanted to verify your employment history. What did you tell them? That you hadn't started yet. Was I not supposed to? I quit that night. Before I even clocked in, the lawyer called the next morning. Warehouse work is prohibited under Section 12.9. Physical labor utilizes time management skills developed under our training programs. You can't own every skill I have. We can. You signed the agreement. I stopped answering their calls. Stopped applying to jobs. Started doing cash work. Under the table. Gig economy stuff. It wasn't enough. Rent piled up. My sister started hinting about me leaving. Then I saw the email from Helios HR. "We understand you're facing financial hardship. We'd like to offer you a position. Contract work. Part-time. Competitive rate." The position was exactly what I'd done before. Same work. Half the pay. No benefits. The non-compete would be suspended for the duration of your contract, the email continued. Upon completion, the 1-year clock would restart. I looked at the contract. It was indefinite. No end date. Just ongoing project work, as needed. I'd be trapped. Forever working for them. Or unemployed forever. I signed it 2 weeks ago. I'm back in my old building. Different floor. I see former colleagues sometimes. They don't look at me. Last week, I saw them escort someone out. She was crying, holding a box of desk items. I got an email that afternoon. Internal job posting. They were hiring. They didn't list her name, but they listed her job title, the one they'd just eliminated. I checked the non-compete in my current contract. It renewed automatically, every 6 months. I'm still getting paid by a place that burned down. VII Solutions fired me 9 months ago. The building burned down 3 months later. Total loss. Electrical fire. The news said no casualties because it happened at night. I moved on. Found a better job. Better pay. Put VII behind me. Then the direct deposit hit. Last Tuesday. My old salary from VII. I called my bank. They confirmed the routing number. VII Solutions. Same account they'd used for 2 years. That's impossible, I said. The company doesn't exist anymore. The bank representative paused. Sir, we're showing regular payroll deposits from this account. Every 2 weeks. Since you were. Let me check. Since you were terminated. I haven't been getting paid. According to our records. Yes, you have. Did you close your old account? I hadn't. I'd meant to. Forgot about it. I logged into that old account. She was right. 20 deposits. Each one exactly my old salary. Sitting in an account I'd forgotten about. $43,000 from a company that had been a smoking crater for 3 months. I called VIT's old number. Disconnected. The website was down. Social media pages deleted. I drove to the old location. Still burned. yellow tape, condemned signs. The parking lot was empty, except for broken glass and char. But there was a car in the executive parking spot, a black sedan I recognized. It had belonged to my old boss, Karen. The car was running. I could see exhaust in the cold air. I knocked on the window. She didn't respond, just stared forward, hands on the wheel. I tried the door, unlocked. "Karen?" She turned slowly. Her eyes were wrong, unfocused. "We're still processing payroll," she said. Her voice was flat. "You need to come inside. The building burned down. We're still processing payroll." Exact same inflection, like a recording. I stepped back. She kept staring at me. "You need to come inside. There's work to do. I don't work here anymore. Your direct deposit is active. You're still employed. You need to come inside." I ran back to my car. She didn't follow, just sat there, engine running. That was 4 days ago. The deposits kept coming. I tried to refuse them, sent the money back. The bank said the return was rejected. The sending account won't accept returns, they said. I went back yesterday. The car was gone. But there were others. 7 cars in the parking lot, all running, all with people inside. I recognized 3 of them, former co-workers, all staring at the burned building. I knocked on windows. They all said the same thing. "We're still processing payroll. You need to come inside." I called the police. They said they'd send someone. No one came. I got an email this morning from my old VII address. Karen's email. "You have missed 3 consecutive workdays. This is considered job abandonment. Please report to HR immediately or termination proceedings will begin. The building is still burned. I drove past it an hour ago. 9 cars now, all running, all with people inside. I just got another deposit. My old salary, plus overtime. I don't remember working overtime. I don't remember working at all. Would you accept impossible contract terms if refusing meant you could never work again?" This is Dread Dynasty, where nightmares come to life. Thank you for watching tonight's stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because the next nightmare is closer than you think. Check the channel for more interesting nightmare.